friends. I'm here to read another story to all of you today. But before we get started, I just wanted to tell you that this story is about a frog. And frogs are animals that in the winter, which it is winter time right now here where I am in Connecticut, frogs are animals that hibernate. So they are under the ground a little bit and they are sleeping for the winter. They are not up and around and enjoying the snow that we're getting right now here. So in this story that I read today, we're going to find out what happens when a froggy wakes up, even though he's supposed to be sleeping, and goes out to enjoy the snow. So today we're going to read the story, Froggy Gets Dressed. And this story is by Jonathan London. He is the author, and the illustrator who draws the pictures is Frank Remkowitz. So when Froggy's looking out his window right here, he sees snow, and outside of my window right now, it is snowing as well. It was cold, and Froggy woke up, and he looked out his window. Snow, snow, he sang. I want to play in the snow. Go back to sleep, Froggy, said his mother. Don't you know? Frogs are supposed to sleep all winter. We wake up when the snow melts. No, no, cried Froggy. I am awake, and I want to go out and play in the snow. When our daughter was little, she felt like that in the morning when she would wake up and see snow outside. She'd say, I want to go out and play in the snow. So Froggy had to get dressed, right, and ready to go out and play in the snow. So he put on his socks, zoop. He pulled on his boots, zup. He put on his hat, zat. Tied on his scarf, zwit. And tugged on his mittens, zoom. And he flopped outside into the snow. Flop, flop, flop. Froggy, called his mother. What? Said Froggy. Did you forget to put something on? She asked. Froggy looked down. Oops, I forgot to put on my pants. So what does he have to do? He flopped back inside. Flop, flop, flop. Tugged off his mittens, untied his scarf, took off his hat, pulled off his boots. He left his socks on. And he slipped his pants on. Zip! Then he pulled on his boots, zup, put on his hat, zap, tied on his scarf, zwit, and tugged on his mittens, zoom. And he flopped back outside into the snow. Flop, flop, flop. Think he's all set this time? Froggy, cried his mother. What? Yelled Froggy. Did you forget to put something on? Froggy looked down. Oops, he cried. I forgot to put on my shirt. And your coat, added his mother. Silly Froggy. So he flopped back inside, flop, 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 tugged off his mittens, untied his scarf, took off his hat. He left his pants and boots and socks on. And he buttoned up his shirt, zut, zut, zut. And then he snapped on his coat, snap. He put on his hat, zap. He tied on his scarf, zwit. He tugged on his mitten, zoom. And he flopped back outside into the snow. Flop, flop, flop. Oh no, again, Froggy, cried his mom. What? Yelled Froggy. Did you forget to put something on? He looked down. He had his mittens, and he had on his scarf, and he had on his coat, and he had on his shirt, and he had on his pants, and he had on his boots, and he had on his socks. He reached up. Yep. He had on his hat. What could he be missing? Your underwear, said his mother, laughing. Oops, cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. Sometimes when we do something silly or feel embarrassed, our face gets a little red. He flopped back inside, flop, flop, flop. He tugged off his mittens, untied his scarf, unsnapped his coat, unbuttoned his shirt, unzipped his pants. He pulled off his boots, took off his socks. He left his hat on and slipped his long johns on. Long johns are underwear, but they're longer to keep us warm when it's cold outside, with a zap of the elastic. Then he put on one sock, zoop, pulled on one boot, zup, tugged on one mitten, zoom, started to tug on the other, and he let it drop, and he said, I'm too tired. And he went to sleep. Good night, Froggy. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that story of that silly story of Froggy, who was hibernating but woke up and wanted to get a little bit of enjoyment out of the snow that had fallen outside. So I hope you have a great day, and come back and enjoy another story with us.